Noah Syndergaard has just put the following out on Twitter 12 minutes ago. Something exciting coming.
Yeah.
And it's a picture of SpongeBob waiting.
Right.
Just following through the pages of a book, not paying attention.
What does it mean?
Waiting for something.
What does it all mean, Craig? Tell me.
Something exciting coming.
Who's in the deal?
No, I know what it is.
What is it?
It's a topless video of him throwing pitches down in Florida somewhere.
Yeah. It's very likely to be something that would cause me, you, and most people listening to say, really? That's it? Like, it's not going to be Trevor Bauer. It's not going to be a contract extension. It's not going to be anything exciting like that. He's going to announce he's got a new sneaker coming out. He's going to announce, hey, I've challenged Mr. Met into a boxing match.
He's not going to be ready to pitch to what, June, they're saying?
Sandy told us June. Yeah.
June, right?
Yep.
Which would be, that's like acquiring a free agent.
Oh, don't give me that.
At the deadline. Ooh, Noah Syndergaard.
You got to admit, it would be kind of sneaky smart to try to get him on an extension. Get him down.
Why?
Why? Because he's coming off Tommy John. You'll pay a lot less.
Why would you pay him anything?
It's a risk-reward.
I wouldn't give him an extension. He may not be able to pitch ever again.
Do you think that's the case?
I don't know. I know most guys do come back and are able to pitch, but I don't know.
Craig, my only point is this. If Noah Syndergaard comes back in June, and let's say he's great, say he dominates, he's going to get paid next year. You'd agree with that. He's still relatively young. He's got a little bit of a track record.
Figure if he gets, what do you think, 12 starts?
Yeah.
15 maybe?
Trevor Bauer's about to get paid off 12 starts.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Okay, so you're with me. So if you said, look, we bank on the fact Noah is going to be great, you wouldn't try to get him on a low-money kind of 3 or 4 year deal? I would take that risk.
I wouldn't do it today.
Oh, I would. I would take that risk, yeah.
That to me, that could be foolish money
It
spent.
could be brilliant.
How much money are you talking about? 3 years? What are you talking 15 per?
Yeah. What did Severino get, C-Mac, when they extended him before his injury? Do you remember?
I think it's $10 million a year. I think it was like 7 for 70.
So what I would look at is it'd be more than that. I would try to get him on a 3-year, let's say $13 million a year. He wouldn't do it. But that's what I would try to do. 3 for
39 before he throws a pitch.
Before he throws a pitch, yeah.
Well, listen, that's...
Oh, I would do it.
There's a lot of upside to it.
I'm a big fan of that kind of...
It becomes very tradable if you had to trade it if he's any good.
Well,
I get it.
It's like, would you...
But he'd be pissed.
By the way,
that
was the Aaron Hicks contract. 4 for 40 with Severino. So
yeah, so $10 million a year.
$10 million a year.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would do.
He seems like the kind of guy that would be really pissed a year from now. Like if he was money good and was killing it, he might come back and say, "Wah."
Too bad.
Do you think?
Then why'd you sign the extension?
Well, there's two sides of the coin.
I don't think Noah would do it because I think Noah's a confident guy.
So
I think
let me ask you a
Noah would
question.
say, I want to pitch.
Do you think the exciting news coming, according to Syndergaard, is A, something totally about him?
Yes.
B, something about the team?
No.
Or C, something that has nothing to do with baseball?
I'm going to say something about him that no one will really care about.
Got it.
Like, it may be a joke. Hey, I'm challenging Mr. Met to a boxing match. It may be something like really good, like charitable. I don't want to diminish that at all.
Okay.
But it's going to be something that's not what Met fans right now in his mentions are dreaming of. Because I think right now Met fans are waiting on Bauer. That's like their focus. It's my focus. I'm a Met fan. I know what it's like.
Right.
I think that's
don't think Syndergaard's breaking the Bauer story, do you?
I'm not saying he is.
I'm saying. You think it's more about him, something that's totally Syndergaard related.
And he's needling because he knows that's what Met fans are thinking about.
Evan, you're the diehard Arenado guy. You wanted him in the beginning. And I feel like you think, and I don't blame you, that since we got Lindor in a trade, it's too much to ask the Mets to make another crazy trade.
Right.
But this is unique. This is unique in that you have a guy here that the Rockies want to dump. They don't want to pay him $35 million.
Right.
I have the perfect trade, which would help the Mets. And this trade I thought of over the weekend before they were willing to go in on Bauer because it would keep them under the threshold for this year. Right. They go ahead, they take Familia, they take Davis, who now becomes useless. That's $14 million this year together. And they take Cano, which is only 1 year for the Rockies to pay next year, which is $22 million.
Okay.
And now they go ahead and they take on Arenado instead of Bauer, who I like Bauer, by the way. If they take Bauer, they're very happy. But this one gives them the best defensive and offensive team.
Wait, so you're giving the Rockies J.D. Davis, J-Ris Familia, and Robbie Cano? I don't know if that's going to be enough.
No, but Evan, look
What?
at all the reports. It sounds crazy, but you look at the Rockies. They have 6 years left of $35 million. No one wants to touch that contract except the Mets can afford it, and the Rockies would be on the hook for those other two.
Look,
contracts.
Nolan Arenado is a tremendous, tremendous baseball player. And all I said a few weeks ago was Lindor versus Arenado. I think Arenado's a better player. Doesn't mean I'm not excited about Lindor. It just means I would have preferred Nolan Arenado. I don't know how realistic that is. He's making $35 million a year, and if he doesn't opt out, which I'm not sure he ever will, you've got him locked in for the next 6 years. I just don't know budget-wise. Are the Mets thinking to give Lindor $300 million? Are they thinking to sign Conforto for $150 million?
Well, let me ask you a question.
I don't know.
If you had a choice,
Yeah.
would you rather have Arenado as a Met or would you rather have Trevor Bauer as a Met?
I mean, Arenado is better, but I also love the idea of building a mega pitching staff. I don't have to give anything up for Trevor Bauer.
Well, J.D. Davis is gone. We know that.
Yeah.
The way they talk about him.
Is he gone? Who's going to play third base then?
Well, you get a third baseman.
You know what I'd like right now?
No, again.
No,
I
sorry.
gave it to you. I thought I laid it out pretty simply. You have a choice right now because the money is going to be very close. And the money they didn't spend on Springer in hand.
Right.
Again, forget about who you have to include in a trade. Let's just assume they could figure that out.
Nolan Arenado.
Would you sign up for Arenado's contract or not?
I think Arenado is so good that even though the pitching thing is more appealing,
Sure.
I think Nolan Arenado is so good
Right.
as a platinum glove defensive third baseman, as a guy who I still think has a few more big-time offensive years left in him. Yeah, I'd answer Nolan Arenado. See, I
So
answered
they
it.
pulled off Lindor without us knowing about it.
That'd be
Now,
something,
We
man.
said this the other day.
That'd be something.
$38 million was what they were ready to spend on Hand and on Springer.
Right.
They didn't spend that money. It is not just logical, it is factual that they will now pivot and you look to spend that type of money elsewhere before the season starts. Now, there's a chance that the Jared Porter stuff may have made them a little less hot to trot on Trevor Bauer. I don't know that to be factual, but it's possible that they're hearing, what people are talking about in the chat rooms and this and that about Trevor Bauer's bullying on social media, which he has done, which he's apologized for, but he clearly has done it. There's a track record of it. He's also not a guy that has had 5 years of, oh my God, this might be one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he's had a couple.
Arenado. I'm
And
sorry.
then you have
I'm
the guy who's the best
thinking about
third
it more.
baseman in baseball.
No, the more I think about it, it's not even. I thought about it. It's Nolan Arenado for two reasons. I do agree with our last caller that the Rockies would have to take back some contracts, which offsets the fact that Nolan makes $35 million a year, and he's just better. I love pitching. Give me that mega rotation. Nolan Arenado is one of the 10 best players in baseball. Trevor Bauer is a pitcher who I'm high on, who I think will be good the next 3 or 4 years, but there's questions to that.
Yep.
I am not concerned about Arenado leaving Colorado. I'm not concerned about Arenado being 30-31. So,
And remember the reports
He's
that
better.
came out 6 weeks ago?
yeah.
And what was that report? We asked Sandy Olson about it. That Colorado specifically reached out to the New York Mets and said, hey, are you interested? Now, what's amazing about that story is it kind of just disappeared because the Mets got Lindor.
And Arenado rumors have disappeared too, Craig.
Yep.
They're not even around anymore. You don't hear anything about him.
If Sandy Alderson pulled off getting Nolan Arenado
And Lindor in the same offseason?
and Lindor in the same offseason,
Sheesh.
you have the best left side of an infield that's played baseball in a very long time.
And you know what? As far as center field's concerned, it don't. You can bring back Juan Lagares at this point for defense. Like, it's not. You'll live because that lineup would be that good.
That's why Nimmo's praying that it happens.
Sure.
Yeah, every day starting center field for the New York
Nolan
Mets.
Arenado. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know where the Rockies are right now. I think
They're in Colorado.
Thank you. I think our brain cells tell us, come on, he's making $35 million a year. They want to move him because he also has an opt-out, which we have to keep in mind. But I also just don't think at 31 years old in the climate baseball's in right now that Nolan Arenado is going to walk away from 5 years at $30 million a year.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
I find that tough to believe.
Yeah, you're Mr. Met right now. J.D. Davis, Robbie Cano, Pete Alonso.
No. Why'd you get Pete Alonso involved?
I'm trying to sweeten the pot.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't have to. That's the reason. I don't have to. It's not because I wouldn't do it or he's not as good. It has nothing to do with that. I don't have to. This makes me think of an argument I had with Mike once. Mike's like, would you trade Jose Reyes for Johan Santana? I said, no. He's like, you're an idiot. Santana's one of the best pitchers in baseball. I said, no. I don't have to. And I was right. They didn't have to. So I don't have to.
Okay.
If the Rockies are trading Nolan Arenado, I don't have to trade them Pete Alonso.
Dom Smith.
I don't have to. Nope.
So you wouldn't do that.
I don't have to.
Jeff McNeil.
I don't have to. Keep trying. J.D. Davis and I will have to give them prospects. I understand.
You have to give him something.
No,
Right?
I'm giving them J.D.
It ain't
Davis.
just going to be J.D. Davis and Robbie Cano.
I said that to our obviously.
Right.
But I think that's the question. Like, how much do you truly have to give? The one thing that surprised us about Lindor, I think most of us, is the Mets didn't give up that much.
No.
I think the same may be to the more extreme with Arenado. He's older than Lindor. He's got a potential long-term deal of making $35 million a year, and there are going to be teams that wonder about Coors Field.
Listen,
I'm not worried.
I think the sure thing that Arenado is as a player over the wild card that Trevor Bauer is on the field and off the field.
I answered it.
I think it's a no-brainer.
What?
I think it's Nolan Arenado all day.
In fairness, when you asked me the question, I gave it some thought.
Well, I appreciate that.
I
You talk it
answered
out.
Nolan Arenado, and now, what are we, 5 minutes later? Yeah.
Now you're emboldened by your thought.
I'm emboldened by it. Sometimes
I like
I have
that.
second thoughts. I say, well, let me give this more thought. But I am emboldened by Nolan. Sometimes it's simple. You don't have to get it too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Arenado is much better at what he does than Trevor Bauer is at what he does. As much as I love that pitching staff look,
Yeah.
I mean, you have a chance to get the best third baseman in baseball.
Would you give up J.D. Davis and Noah Syndergaard?
I don't have to. Nor would the Rockies want him on a contract year of
Wouldn't that
Tommy
be
John.
funny if that was Syndergaard's big name?
That's his big news. Imagine that in the contract year of Tommy John. I'm going to Coors Field, everybody. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, right.
Nah, it wouldn't have to be that. That's my reasoning. It's not, I wouldn't do it. It doesn't have to be that. You would have to, in all seriousness, I think they would have to take a contract back, whether it's Cano or Familia. You'd have to give him J.D. Davis. And I think you're talking about 2 or 3 good prospects. Doesn't have to even necessarily be the greatest prospects. Because, again, what's the market for him? But it's not going to have to be Dom Smith. It's not going to have to be Pete Alonso. It's not going to have to be that.